Hey guys. So, hey, I just wanted to share some news with you. I won the Silver Moon Ultra 12-hour ultra marathon in Paso Robles, California, 2 weeks ago. And I'm so thrilled. I never could have imagined that I actually could win the race. But man, I did it. And I'm shocked because I'm in my mid 50s, you know. And I ran 54 miles in 12 hours, which for me, that's a personal record. But also, the conditions were freaking crazy. It was raining, it was cold, it was wet, and the trail was muddy. It was muddy the whole way. So I was running for 12 hours in the mud and in the rain for 54 miles. And I won. I'm just so thrilled. But it was a hard race. It was a hard race. I beat the second place person by 4 miles. But basically, the course is you're running around a winery on a dirt road. And there's some up and down hills a little bit. I mean, they're modest hills, but over, it's a 2 mile loop. So over the course of 54 miles, I think I did 3,500 feet of elevation gain, which is a fair amount of elevation gain, but it's very gentle, gradual. So there's a little bit of hill climbing each time around the course. And also, the nice thing about this course is you get every 2 miles, you get a chance to stop at an aid station and get drinks or food or whatever. And you can also set up your own little table, your own little stand with some of your own food and stuff there. And you always have the opportunity to get your own stuff each time around each lap. And so I ran 27 laps. So each lap I was basically stopping at my station for like 1 minute and grabbing some food, a snack or a goo or whatever, and just to stay hydrated and stay fueled up. But really tough conditions. I ran overnight in the dark. The race started at 6 p.m., right about the time the sun was setting, and it ended at 6 a.m. the next morning, about the time the sun was rising. So it was really the first lap and the last lap. We had some twilight, but the rest of it in between, it was just dark. And there's supposed to be enough moonlight to light the course overnight, as there was last year. This year, the moonlight mostly was hidden by the clouds because it was raining for probably more than half of the night. So the rain kind of hid the moon and it was pitch dark. And so I had my headlamp on for most of that time. I was able to turn it off after the rain stopped for a little bit and cleared up for a little while, but then it started raining again towards dawn. So it was kind of cold, dark, wet night. So how I trained? Well, I ran about 550 miles in the first 2 months of the year, and then the race was on March 4th. So yeah, I ran a heck of a lot of miles to train for it. I started this year probably doing 50 miles a week, and then I ramped up to a little over 90 miles in peak weeks, a couple of peak weeks. I did a whole bunch of 13-mile half marathon distances in my training, usually like 3 a week. I did 1 week where I did a half marathon every single day for a full week, and that was a 90-mile week. And I also did some back-to-back long runs. I recommend you do back-to-back long runs. So if, let's say, Monday you do a 20-mile run, the next day, ordinarily if you're training for a marathon, you would rest. But if you're training for an ultra, well, you did 20 on Sunday. Monday you're going to have to do like 15 again or 20. So I did 20 plus 15 a few times. I did like 5 20-mile runs in the first 2 months of the year. And usually I didn't take a rest day afterwards. Instead, I was actually doing a 13 to 15-mile run the second day. So running on tired legs, and I think that is good training for an ultra. That's what people recommend, and I guess it worked for me. My longest run was 26 miles. I did 2 weeks before the race. I did a marathon. That felt fine, I didn't rest up for it or anything. I probably did a 7-mile run the day before, so my legs kind of got a little bit of rest. But anyway, I did a 26 miles was my longest run. I didn't do any crazy 30 or 40-mile training runs. I don't think I would recommend that either. Maybe 30 at the most. But yeah, I did 26 was my longest long run. And I did all road miles. So I said that the track is basically a dirt road. And I was able to wear running shoes, just road running shoes, not trail shoes. I wore road shoes on the course, even though it was muddy. I don't know if that was a good choice or not. but traction probably would have been better with trail shoes. But I think when the course is dry, I ran it last year on the same course. I think road shoes are a good choice for that course. So I would probably, in hindsight, I don't regret using my road shoes. And I also don't regret doing just all road training, because I don't think the hill training especially is going to help me. I didn't really do any trail training or hill training for this race. So based on that success, I was kind of excited, and I was like, while I'm training, of course, I'm saying, oh, I'm never going to do another ultra. And then after the race, a few days later, I'm thinking, I could sign up for another ultra and possibly win it. So the same organizers that do the Silver Moon in Paso Robles also do a Silver Moon race 5 weeks later, exactly 5 weeks later, in Reedley, which is near Fresno. So I signed up for that. I get 5 weeks in between races. So that was a little over 2 weeks ago, that race, and then it's just less than 3 weeks until the next race, the Reedley race. So I signed up for the same category, the 12 hours. They also have a 6-hour category. They have a 24-hour and I think 100-mile race. So there are a few different categories. There were about a little over 50 competitors in the 12-hour race that I did, and I expect something similar in Reedley, probably 40 or 50 competitors in the race. And I think I have a pretty serious chance of winning again. I looked at the winning times last year. It was like 62 miles for the winner last year in the Reedley race. And I might be able to do that. My plan basically for my pace is to do the first 20 miles. I want to do an 11-minute pace. And then the second 20 miles, a 12-minute pace. And then the third 20 miles, I want to do a 13-minute pace. So 11, 12, 13, kind of gradually slow down throughout the race. I know that's normal. But I think I can sustain up to like a 13-minute per mile pace up till the end of the 12 hours, hopefully. But that's kind of my pacing plan. So I average about 12 minutes per mile, 5 miles per hour for 12 hours, 60 miles. I want to get to 60 miles. And if I feel really good for the last couple hours or something, I might be able to bump up my pace. And if not, then I might be slowing down more than I expected. That's okay. That's okay. But my target is to reach about 60 miles and to pace myself 11, 12, and 13 from the start towards the end. That's about it. So wish me luck. I'll probably post another video in a few weeks to let you know how I did it in the Reedley race. Joe James signing off.